Right now, if you were to fly a drone over certain industrial parks, abandoned airfields, and port facilities across the globe, you would see something the manufacturers do not want you to see. Thousands of brand new vehicles are sitting in open fields, rotting in the elements. We are constantly told that car prices are at record highs because demand is unstoppable. But if that is true, why are manufacturers stashing billions of dollars of inventory in secret locations that nobody seems to want? This is not just a problem in the United States. From the overflow ports of Europe to the holding yards of Japan, the automotive industry is facing a massive, hidden economic glitch. We will track the life cycle of these unwanted cars through 7 distinct stages, and we will reveal the final, darkest stage where vehicles go to die. Understanding this cycle is the only way to stop overpaying for a vehicle in 2026. To understand why these graveyards exist, you first have to understand the dirty little secret of dealership economics. Most people assume dealers own the cars sitting on their lots. They do not. They rent the metal from banks using a system called floor plan financing. It is effectively a massive credit card with a ticking clock attached to every single windshield. When a hauler drops off a new SUV, the dealer usually gets a grace period, often 90 days, where they pay 0 interest. It is a free ride. But the second that 90-day cliff arrives, the free ride ends. Massive compound interest starts kicking in, eating directly into the dealer's profit margins. Every single day a car sits unsold after that grace period, it effectively becomes more expensive for the dealer to keep. In 2026, this system is breaking down completely. We are looking at specific data showing brands like Stellantis and certain electric vehicle manufacturers with inventory aging over 200 days. That is a financial disaster. Imagine a $60,000 SUV celebrating its first birthday on the asphalt without a single test drive. That vehicle is not an asset anymore. It is a liability that is bleeding cash every morning the sun comes up. The general manager looks at that unit and sees thousands of dollars in interest payments that have already evaporated any potential profit. Panic sets in. This triggers the first solution dealers use: the desperate discount. You have seen the sudden price drops: 5,000 off, 10,000 off. They are not doing this to be nice, they are trying to stop the bleeding before the bank takes everything. But there is a hidden reality behind those slashed prices. If a dealer is desperate enough to knock 15% off the sticker price, it usually means the car has been sitting for months. It has started to develop lot rot. The tires have flat spots from sitting in one position. The battery has likely died and been jump-started 3 times, ruining its longevity. The seals are drying out. You are technically buying a new car, but mechanically it is aged significantly. However, there is a limit to how much they can discount a car before they lose their franchise license or go bankrupt. Sometimes the car is just too ugly, too weird, or too expensive for the local market. When the price cuts do not work, and the interest is still compounding, dealers have to get creative with the paperwork. They stop trying to sell the car to you, and they start playing a shell game to hide their failures from the bank. If you are finding this breakdown of the industry helpful, please hit that like button. It helps us get this information out to more enthusiasts who need to know how the system works. When price cuts fail and interest payments become unbearable, dealers stop trying to sell the car to you. Instead, they sell it to themselves. In the industry, this is known as punching the car. The dealer reports the vehicle is sold to the manufacturer, which stops the floor plan clock immediately. The bank gets paid, the interest stops compounding, and the manufacturer records a sales statistic toward their quarterly goals. But the car has not actually gone anywhere. It moves from the new car lot to the service department, becoming a loaner or a demonstrator unit. This serves a dual purpose. First, it artificially inflates the manufacturer's sales numbers, making the brand look healthier than it actually is. Second, it changes the legal status of the vehicle. A new car is subject to strict minimum advertised price rules set by the factory. A demonstrator is technically a used car, even if it only has 50 miles on it. This loophole allows the dealer to list the car online for thousands of dollars below the invoice price without violating their franchise agreement. You might see these listed as executive demos or manager specials. They are essentially brand new cars that the dealer was forced to buy from themselves just to stop the financial bleeding. If the dealer cannot absorb the car into their own fleet, they attempt a dealer trade. This is a logistical shuffle where unsold inventory is swapped between regions to find a fresh market. A convertible sitting dead in a snowy northern state might be traded for a four-wheel drive truck from a southern dealer who cannot move it. While this sounds like a smart efficiency move, it hides a significant cost. Every time a car is moved, it incurs transport fees and lot mileage. A car might be loaded onto a transporter, driven to a relay yard, reloaded, and driven onto a new lot 3 times. The odometer might show low mileage, but the suspension and transmission have endured the harshest kind of short trip abuse, cold starts, quick shifts, and transport tie-downs without ever having a registered owner. When the internal shuffling fails, the situation turns into what insiders call the auction nightmare. This is the last resort before deep storage. The dealer sends the brand new, unsold unit to a wholesale auction house. This is a bloodbath for the dealership's balance sheet. A car with a sticker price of $50,000 might fetch only $35,000 at a wholesale auction. The dealer accepts a massive, immediate cash loss just to liquidate the asset. They do this because a confirmed loss is sometimes better than an indefinite liability that ties up their credit line. However, the most damaging tactic for you, the consumer, is fleet dumping. When thousands of units are rejected by retail buyers, manufacturers often step in and sell massive blocks of inventory to rental car giants like Hertz or Enterprise at rock-bottom prices. This clears the factory's books, but it creates a ticking time bomb for resale values. If you paid full price for a model that was also dumped into rental fleets, your resale value is about to collapse. In 12 to 18 months, those rental companies will liquidate their fleets, flooding the used market with thousands of cheap copies of your car. This oversupply drives down the value of every single version of that model on the road, meaning your investment depreciates twice as fast simply because the manufacturer produced too many units. When even the wholesale auctions and the rental fleets refuse to touch the inventory, the cars enter the final, most secretive stage of their life cycle, deep storage. This is where the industry tries to make the problem disappear physically, even if it remains on the balance sheet. We are not talking about the back corner of a dealership lot anymore. We are talking about massive off-site holding facilities. These are often industrial parks, abandoned airfields, and remote port terminals that have been quietly leased to store thousands of vehicles that have nowhere else to go. If you drive past one of these facilities, you will see rows of cars sitting bumper to bumper, exposed to the elements for months or even years. This exposure creates a phenomenon known in the industry as lot rot, and it is the single biggest danger to you as a potential buyer of a leftover model. Cars are machines designed to move. When they sit stationary, they begin to die a slow mechanical death. The first thing to go is the tires. When a 2-ton SUV sits in the exact same position for 6 months, the weight of the vehicle presses down on the tire structure, creating permanent flat spots. Even if you drive the car later, that vibration may never fully go away. But the damage goes deeper. The battery is the next victim. Modern cars are always awake, running security systems and computer memory. When a car sits for months without being started, the battery drains completely. When it sits dead, the internal lead plates undergo sulfation, essentially hardening and losing their ability to hold a charge. A dealer might jump start it to get it off the lot, but that battery is already chemically ruined. Then you have the fluids. Oil that is not circulating begins to separate and settle. Moisture from the air condenses inside the engine block and the braking system, leading to internal corrosion before the car has ever been driven on a public road. The rubber seals that keep your windows and doors watertight require lubrication to stay soft. Without it, they dry out, shrink, and crack. This leads to a paradox that most buyers do not understand. A new car with 50 miles on the odometer that has sat in deep storage for 2 years is often mechanically worse than a used car with 20,000 miles that was driven regularly. The used car has had fluids circulated, seals lubricated, and tires rotated. The deep storage car is a stiff, corroding statue. This issue is currently visible on a global scale. In Europe, major port terminals have effectively turned into parking lots. Thousands of electric vehicles, particularly imports from Chinese manufacturers, are piling up at the docks because the distribution networks simply cannot absorb them. They sit in the salt air, waiting for buyers that do not exist. In Japan, the domestic market has a different solution for these failures. Rather than letting them rot indefinitely, dealers often export these unsold units to countries with looser safety or emissions regulations. It is a form of offshoring, moving the physical metal to a place where it will not drag down local market values. Before we move on to how you can use this to your advantage, ask yourself, have you spotted any of these overflow lots in your local area? Maybe an old shopping mall parking lot filled with brand new trucks? Let me know in the comments below. This financial disaster for the dealership network represents the single most significant buying opportunity for you in the current market. The dealer is paying interest on that rotting unit every single day, and they are desperate to stop the bleeding. Your job is to identify the car they are most afraid of keeping. The most powerful tool you have is the manufacturer date sticker found on the driver's side door jamb. Ignore the model year listed on the window sticker. A 2026 model could have been built 18 months earlier. You need to look at the specific month and year of production. If you find a car that was built over a year ago, you have found a stale unit. This is your leverage. When you negotiate, you are not just asking for a discount, you are demanding compensation for the lot rot we just discussed. State that because the vehicle has sat for 300 days, you expect the dealership to install a brand new battery and a fresh set of tires before you sign the paperwork. You also want a discount that reflects the immediate depreciation you will suffer. Because the moment you drive that car off the lot, the market sees it as a 2-year-old vehicle regardless of the mileage. Do not pay full price for a car that has been sitting. If the dealer refuses to acknowledge the degradation or the holding costs, walk away. There are thousands of other cars sitting in graveyards right now, and one of them will be the deal you are looking for. If you want to stay ahead of the market and protect your wallet, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We dig into the data the dealers do not want you to see. See you in the next deep dive. And if you want to know why Honda's greatest masterpiece was their biggest mistake, watch this video next.